Friendship supreme. Friendship supreme. Finding the geek within.
Hey everybody, my name is Michael.
My name's William.
And I'm Andy Havoc.
Ooh, that was good.
Hey,
I liked it.
yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Friendship Supreme. Hey, you didn't know it, but we're actually putting on, Plink is like a dating app for gamers, but just trying to find like a third or a fourth in your squad. We're actually going to do a dating, and it's going to be like the old school 80s video blog. Like, my name's Andy, and I like to walk on the beach and pick up things. We're gonna.
I'd watch that.
We're joined by Andy Havoc, or Havokast is the actual name of his channel. You guys can see that above his head right now, and you guys can check him out if you don't already know him. We're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna get to know some streamer friends of ours, and maybe people that aren't friends of ours too. I don't know. If this goes well, maybe we'll ask everybody. Ninja, you want to be on this show? Holler at us.
Dude, he'll be begging to be on here.
We'll put you on the list.
We'll check and see what schedule we have and go from there.
Yeah. Andy happens to be one of the oldest friends that we have on Twitch, I believe. I think we've known him for almost all of 2 years that we've done this. And so we thought it'd be easy to just talk to him and give you guys insight into what it's like content creating and a little bit about him. So, Andy, tell us about yourself, where they can find you, who you are, what you do. Just a real quick, sum your whole life up in 30 seconds.
I got you. Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest, you guys were the first, 25, 15 people I met on Twitch, out of the first couple I became friends with for sure. So it was very cool of also being the first time I've ever done anything like this. So I really like that. But yeah, I do just kind of whatever on Havokast, 5 nights a week, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Days kind of fluctuate, but just variety streaming, interacting with chat, hanging out, having a good time, making really bad jokes. It's a good time though. It's a good time always. And no matter what, I'm always just trying to have fun. Never take games too seriously, which is, I think, something different and unique about what I do is I usually don't. I mean, people that come in usually say, I don't know what's going on the screen, but we're having a good time talking and hanging out. And that's the same with me. I usually have no idea what I'm doing on the game either. So it's perfect. It works out, just a good time.
So that brings up a good question, I guess. How do you prioritize? Do you ever find yourself trying to prioritizing gaming over your entertainment aspect of it, and how do you decide on what is more important to do?
I've always thought that chat interaction was always the number one thing, and that was from day one. I was thinking if I wanted to just play games and try to be the best at games, I could go to YouTube and make it on a platform that wasn't as interactive at the time. But here, for my first experiences on Twitch, it was, going into your channel even, where there was you guys were asking the questions of the day and, would you rather stuff. And it was always, how are you doing versus this is what I'm doing on the game. It was always, we're friends first. And I thought that was cool. You can't really be friends first if all you're doing is trying to kill the opposing team or whatever. You know what I mean? So if I die in a game, I can restart, but that interaction, the first time somebody comes in and says hi, you cannot restart that. You can't replicate that. So I always thought, damn, if I go on someone's channel and I'm treated the second priority on there, it's a little different than if I'm oh, wow, I got a new friend in here, So I just think even if I'm in a really intense fight, I'll at least acknowledge something's happening in chat and then be okay, let me get right with you or, whatever. But that's always how that balance works.
Yeah. We've always said you either have to be the best fucking player in the world or really entertaining. You got to be one or the other. You can't not be entertaining and then be kind of half-assed good at a game.
Yeah.
You won't have your audience for long.
Yeah.
All right, Andy, the most obvious question. Do you enjoy content creating?
Ooh, I don't ever think I'm really creating that much content, to be honest, but I really enjoy, you know, I think this has been a big escape from real life. I mean, like a big one. You know, when you're working full time for 15 years and multiple full time jobs, like it was just never a break, never a vacation, nothing. That's all I knew. It's all I wanted to do, really. I didn't have a problem with it at the time either. That's the funny thing. So this has been just like a, a freaking vacation from life. It's crazy. So I mean, I really enjoy it. And that's why like if any little thing like has gone wrong or like, tech stuff or whatever, like it hits me so hard because it's like, dude, it's like being woken up from like, one of those really fun, good dreams where you're out doing whatever. So it's just crazy. Like I have definitely enjoyed every minute of this and meeting incredible people around the world. Like it's just been such a different experience from my usual, like, oh, let me just get up and, dread going to work and then come home and go right to sleep and do it again tomorrow. So yeah, I really enjoy whatever I'm doing right now.
Whatever it is, whatever I'm doing. I'm loving it.
Yeah, whatever. Log on and hope it happens. And when it happens, I'm like, damn, okay, yeah, that was fun. I can't wait to do it again next day,
Yeah, definitely. What would you say, I guess, got you into streaming, content creating? Because
Yeah,
whether
so-
you don't think it's content creating, but if you think about it with your VODs and everything, and you're technically you have to post on social medias and you're doing, it may not necessarily be your straw hat goofy or
You're not an influencer, but
right,
you're a
but
content creator for sure.
Yeah.
that's the big bubble that I see all online personalities as. Not that it's just a personality, but just online in general.
So when I don't know, I'd say like around 20 or so, that's when I started really getting into YouTube, right? So like watching YouTube, and that was always something I really wanted to do. And so that was like, the gold standard. I knew making videos and let's plays and all that stuff. I was like, damn, that is like some good stuff. I love it. I actually had an old Twitter a while ago that had a bunch of followers on it just from like jokes I would post or like, lyrics I made up or whatever, just like random little content, things like that. So I've always been like really into it. I did not know what streaming was though. And I love talking about this because literally the day I made my account was the day I first really even heard about Twitch or streaming in general. And what we did, so this was the funniest thing, was I didn't know about doing it. I didn't like have any thought about possibly doing it because my mind was always like just work. Like that's all you can do. You can just put your hands on stuff and just work and make money that way. And you make partnerships and stuff through that. So that was always like a real world thing, and content creation never was. So when I was playing Fortnite after work with some friends, we would just be like, for 2 or 3 weeks, we said, let's just play with randoms and just, be wild and do whatever. And, just kind of like be ourselves, how we usually play games, but with randoms, because they must think we're crazy, but like we think it's normal. So whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And so like a couple weeks go by playing with all these different randoms, and they every time ask us, what's YouTube? What's your YouTube? What's your Twitch? Like, where do we find you guys? This is great. It's so fun to hang out with you. And we were just like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, how could so many people be asking for this? And so I asked my friend, I was like, so what the hell's even Twitch? Like, what are we doing? Should we try it or whatever? And I was like, I don't know, maybe not. And he was just like, no, we do it. Like, let's make a thing and let's get into this. Let's do it. Right. So I think it was January 17th. I made an account. And that day I was like, well, let's go live and see what happens. And it was, of course, complete train wreck. But from then on, I was just like super addicted. I mean, all I wanted to do was stream. I was like, this is literally what I do every night, except now there's a camera and I can have a bunch of friends hang out while we do it. I mean, I can play Skyrim by myself, a game where I would be completely alone in the dark with nothing and no one. Now I can do it with like, a bunch of people hanging out. Like, it's so crazy. And, from then on, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. How was I not doing this for the last 10 years, or whatever? It was just a really wild time, and what an awakening. I mean, that's like the biggest thing I had to overcome was the whole like, oh, you can't do it. Don't do it. It's not going to work. And then I just thought like, man, I literally could have just done it, you know?
Right.
I mean, it was as easy as turning my Xbox on. It's crazy.
It's funny because Twitch has always seemed to me like whenever you go over to like a cousin's house and you just watch him play a one-player game and you just have to sit and
Yeah.
but like if you have that personality and you or you really good at the game, right? Those are, like you said, the two, one or the other. If you have that
Yeah.
personality and that conversation as someone else playing the game, yeah, it's entertaining and interactive and you enjoy doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll always say like that experience hanging out with you guys for the first time on your stream. And I was like, damn, this is literally like exactly what you just described, where you don't necessarily have to be doing anything, but just the presence of other people and friends and stuff. It's like, man, this is super cool. It's like a comfort thing, you know? Like I could literally just, if I'm having trouble sleeping or I'm nervous about the next day or something like that, I don't have to just like hope for some YouTube video to take me away. Like I can literally hang out with a bunch of friends on their streams, or like I can, talk about this on my stream and like a bunch of people are there to support or whatever, so it's like there's so many different benefits that people don't even realize about the stream and Twitch community and stuff like that.
He keeps saying nice things about us guys. I promise we don't pay him to be here.
They don't. No. Actually, no.
It's funny you talk about YouTube too, because that was always the pinnacle, right? Especially like in our younger lives. It's like, oh, how do you have this many views on YouTube? If you say I have this many views on YouTube, everyone from every age range understands where you're at. You could talk to somebody about Twitch and they'd be like, oh, okay, is that a lot?
Yeah, what does that mean?
A little bit.
What does that mean in YouTube numbers? Yeah, exactly. I know, and it's funny because like YouTube was always that thing that I looked at and I thought that's what I can't do. But YouTube is a completely different world from Twitch, where YouTube is literally just you could make series of things, you could do your gameplay, you could show off what you're doing, tutorials, things like that. Twitch, it's like more just the interaction factor. I mean, every like major content site has their thing, It's like I see how very different it is and how Twitch just fits me so much better than any of that other stuff would have.
So let me ask you this, man. You stream 5 nights a week. You start at 8 p.m. and then you run till, the wee hours.
Yeah.
What are you doing in your spare time, if there's any?
Well, since I just bought this house, all I'm doing is working on the house. I mean, just constantly. It's just like that's the other thing. Like, real life, there's just so much to always have to do and keep up with.
Right.
So it's like I almost want to stay on stream as long as possible just to justify not doing some of this stuff around the house. But, just going room by room, cleaning up, organizing, finish the closets, that kind of thing. It's just like, man, I could run a show on HGTV with the amount of stuff I got to do on here. It's crazy.
You could stream that, right?
I was going to say, I mean, wrong, you got to stream that too, man.
Yeah, there's literally yesterday, man, I was literally just trying to clean up the spare bedroom, trying to organize the piles of clothes and where they're going to go and stuff. And I just like bent down while drinking a soda and just started choking on the soda. I was like, dude, what the hell? What am I doing? Like, this is going to literally kill me.
And see, if you need 911, then chat can reach out.
That's true.
Yeah.
It'd be the first time, calling 911 on a streamer. It's beneficial.
Yeah. I've watched a streamer crochet. I've watched a streamer cook. I've watched a streamer mold clay. I've watched them do Legos. I've watched them carve wood. So,
I used to watch them build PCs, and I don't understand anything they're doing, but I really enjoyed it.
You can literally watch paint dry.
I love watching people that can do things that I can't do and thinking like, man, that's really cool. And I mean, I know like half of the people you just mentioned from your stream as well, like raids and stuff. So like, I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because I was introduced to that kind of stuff by you guys,
You get someone in there who knows what they're doing.
And then they walk you through it.
Just like games, right? When they come in, they're like, you should be doing this. Like, tell me how to paint because I'm just slapping it on.
I'll need a plumber to come and help me.
I watched one of our mutual friends build a chair. So, I mean, it's a thing. You just build things.
Yep.
Yeah, and then just stream it, and then There you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. There's a dad out there. We joke around about the bad dad club over here at Friendship Supreme. I think if I remember correctly, your experience is a little bit different in your childhood. Your parents actually love you. But there's a gentleman that does YouTube videos, and it's all about what dads should have taught their kids, so that people that didn't have dads teach them that shit are like, you can watch these videos, and he talks to you like you're his kid. And I'm like,
I know what you mean.
It's an experience.
Yeah, I can't remember where I found that, but I know exactly what you're talking about. That's so wild, but a great idea.
Yeah, it definitely is. Okay, the business side of it, so that people that are wanting to do this can get an idea of what you're working with. What software and or hardware have you used that you liked, and which ones did you absolutely hate? Because I feel like we've all had something we've used that was recommended and was like, this is crap.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really put a ton of extra stuff into the stream. I think just as far as like the broadcasting software. So, first started, it was just streaming straight from the Xbox. Didn't know a damn thing about it, of course. Bitrate, I had no idea what that was. So I lowered it all the way, not knowing like that's actually going to be terrible for the quality of the stream. But, it was, I think to start out with, the biggest thing is just don't overwhelm yourself. Like, just do little by little. You might have a list of things you want to do, but God, don't take them all on at the same time, because it'll just be super overwhelming. I graduated from that to Lightstream on Xbox, and that was very helpful. It wasn't the best, but for what it can do for streamers, like, you don't have to turn your whole system off and stop your stream to change games. You can use like overlays. They might not be like the best overlays, but there's something. I mean, it's a great way to just kind of test out, like, do I really want to do this before I invest a lot in it? And so that's what I did for, 7-8 months or something before I bought this PC. I was like, let's just stream through the Xbox, do light stream, and then kind of, move on if I want to. And it was great. And I did. Moving on to Streamlabs. That was the next thing I used. It worked for a while. It was super easy to set up, and knowing me, I was like, I don't care if it's, going to run hard or not. I just want it to be easy to set up, and it was super easy to set up, but it was eye-opening to see the CPU usage. It was pretty bad. So, just putting on a simple overlay would lag out the stream every now and then switching to OBS, which is what I use now, has been the best out of all of them. Obviously, like, I just use it now, and I will continue to use it as long as I can, because the CPU usage is like 40% less. It is insane. I mean,
it's an insane difference.
It's wild. Yeah. I mean, I was lagging even using a capture card, which you really theoretically should not have happen too much, because, you're running two different systems as opposed to everything on one. But, just the overlay itself was killing the face cam and like making the stream stutter every now and then. So switching to OBS, that all went away like overnight, and it was just crazy how easy it was to use. Definitely takes some time to figure out how to like set up and do stuff, but once you get through those motions of doing it, it's just repetition and figuring out where stuff comes from. Big difference too that I like about OBS versus Streamlabs is OBS will capture everything I want to capture, every scene, all that stuff seamlessly. If I pull up different browsers, different, games or whatever, it'll just be right there ready for me. Streamlabs, I had to like mess around with. If I didn't have the exact same thing up on that browser, it would say nothing found, and I'd have to like, add the source again, or, close it, reopen it, just all kinds of weird stuff to make it actually work. So switching between games was tougher with Streamlabs than it should have been. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm working with now. And as far as, any other technology, I really know nothing about what I'm using or doing. I usually go off of like friends' recommendations and stuff, like this camera. We were talking about that before. I don't even know anything about it. I just listen to people about settings and hope that it works. And then outside of that, I'm still just tweaking and upgrading as I go,
You ever bought some like RGB lights? You're like, where the fuck do I have those? Like, I have these random octagons around me sometimes, and I'm like, I fucking bought those forever ago, and I never used them.
Yeah, well, I bought something off of Amazon that just came broken, and I was like, that's just not the move. I have a couple of like lights over here that I used to use all the time, but never use anymore. And then I bought lights for this room or I didn't buy them. My friend bought them for me, and I ended up using them in a different room because I have nowhere to put them here. It's just I just am collecting things at this point. You know.
I mean, that's good though, right? Cleve, you got a lot of stuff over there?
Like in life?
Just, yeah.
Or like questions for...
No, I meant like setup wise. Cleve's got a huge setup, you guys. Like, he has to take up props to Cleve's family, because he has to take up his whole living room.
Yeah. So every night that we stream, because you notice Michael always has a background, and I usually green screen. Every night, everyone goes to sleep. All 3 kids and everything. Pick up all the toys, put them aside, take out a green screen, set it up, bring my screw. I have my laptop on like a little table with wheels. I roll it over my camera, fix everything all up, and then we stay up sometimes longer than we should. And then I say, okay, good night, everybody. And then I go and I put the green screen down and I wheel my. So sometimes we get done streaming and I just lay down, and I lay down next to my green screen and I just look at it like, all right, in a minute. I'm gonna get you in a minute.
Yeah, no, his wife has sent me pictures of him, and she's like, look at your friend, and it's just pictures of his whole setup, and I'm like, poor guy's like putting it up every day.
One time we did a video where I was opening a deck of cards and like reviewing them and seeing how cool they were. They were themed. It was like Avengers or something like that. And so I have one camera, and I wanted a camera on our faces and a camera on the cards because I thought that'd be cool. I've seen other people do it. So I had my phone being held by a selfie stick, but too much weight on one side, it kept falling over. So I had rigged it with like a bunch of hangers on the other side of the phone, so it just balanced perfectly. And I'm like, okay, I can't if I can't move the table, I can't touch it. If I do anything, I'm gonna lose this whole setup.
Yeah, I know that feeling of laying down, though. I actually have like some of the old pillows and comforters in my my other bedroom. So when I'm working on stuff, I'm just like, I just gotta lay down for a second. There's just too much like painting and
part of getting old, man.
Reworking on the. I was just like, I just got to have a place to sit. I don't want to move.
I need my lower back to stretch out, so I get right back to work.
Well, especially stretching so much to like get up on like the top of the corners and things in that closet, like taking down all the stuff and putting up new stuff and like having to stay in one position, like drilling and stuff like that. Man, it's just like, it's so tiring, and you just don't want to like even move or leave. And I'd have to go downstairs to find like anywhere that's not a gaming chair to sit down, And I'm not taking my sweaty ass to my bed. So, I'm just like, let me just lay in here on the floor on all this old stuff,
So back into the streaming world of it, when you have a game that you haven't looked into much, how do you like approach playing that game, especially on stream in front of people?
Yeah, that's a good one, because I am very much somebody who does not like to go out of their comfort zone. So anytime there's like a new game or something suggested, it's tough to get in the mode to actually do it. And with me especially, like, I want time to like figure out how to do it myself outside of stream, but I usually don't have time to do anything outside of stream. So 90% of the new stuff I play is with everybody else in chat telling me, why are you doing it like this? I can't believe you're not like what's going on? You got to do this and that. That was my experience with like most of the new games I played. That's what I liked about Shatterline so much, is I just felt it kind of like right away. As opposed to like The Sims, man, that was a disaster. There was just like I mean, I have a lot of friends who play The Sims like religiously, so having them in chat while I was like not knowing how to build a house,
they're an oddly mean group.
It's crazy. Yeah, they were like, man, I can't believe you don't just do this, and you're like, why don't you use the hotkey? It's a lot easier than the button. And I'm like,
I'm just trying to keep 4 people alive, son of a bitch. Let me alone.
If I even knew what it was, like, Jesus Christ. I know I'm over here trying to like, my job was like a botanist or something too. So I'm like having to learn how to actually like do what I'm supposed to do in the game while also making the house. It was just crazy. But, the other pressure comes when like somebody will gift me a game or something, and it happens all the time. And they're like, "Yo, here's a new game that we think you'll like," and I'm just like, "Well, now I have to play this, or I'm an asshole." Like,
have you ever heard of the Fast and Furious video game?
Oh God, I have not.
We've been known to gift some interesting games to people. Like, hey, we want to watch you play this.
Let me ask you this then. With that being said, are there any games that you like refuse to play?
It Takes Two.
Okay.
I can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd cry, and I don't want to do that.
I did.
I already cry enough on stream. I don't need to do that. Yeah, exactly.
I
saw you guys play. I know. I saw you guys playing that, and I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm touching this game on stream."
It broke me.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to go through that. I'm not trying to deal with that right now.
Nothing like torturing a child's small stuffed animal just to make yourself feel better as a parent.
And that's the sad thing about it too, is like if we see people getting blown apart in like a Call of Duty or something, it's like, yeah, fuck you, asshole, you know. But man, you see that stuffed animal get ripped apart, you're just like,
It's because the stuffed animal is pleading for its life. Usually when I kill someone in fucking Apex, it's because they were being a dick.
Yeah, I always just think back to like, man, what if like something I cherished as a child just got destroyed in front of my face, versus like, man, you know what I mean? Like, it's a totally different feeling. It just hits so different.
You guys have thought very deeply about the video game.
I have. I mean, like, that's been something I've thought about for years now. I mean, even before games and stuff, I was always like, damn, like if a pet or a stuffed animal, if something happens to them, like that's just like, something you can unconditionally love. And, if something happens to them, it's like, that's the end. It sucks. But like, it's just so different with a lot of other things. I don't know. I see that as just like the most innocent thing in the world.
Since you've joined Twitch, what have you noticed as far as the change in the dynamic and kind of the meta, I guess, of Twitch creation and content creating, stuff like that?
Yeah, it's been, well, I don't know if like people's perspectives have switched as much, but you got to notice things as you go through it. Like when I first started, what I noticed was like, okay, this person wants it to be all about them. And then this person wants it to be about everybody in their community and stuff. And I was like, I know exactly who I want to be and, who I want to hang out with. So that was an easy thing. But then, the whole, the aspects of like follow for follow and support for support and all that. Some people that prioritize their numbers more than whatever they're doing on stream or creating or the community they're making. And some people who prioritize themselves over people's actual lives and stuff drives me crazy. So like, it was one of those things where I kept thinking like right away, I don't care if anybody's ever there as long as they're taking care of themselves, which is funny because I don't ever take care of myself, but I think I care more about like that whole feeling of like, you don't have to worry about coming back. Cause I think in the long run, people will feel more comfortable coming back when they are ready to come back versus if they have another place where it's not about having a good time and playing a game and the content they're creating, but more about, I need people in here every single day supporting me no matter what. And then Twitch's rules have changed a lot. Hosts are going away soon. All that stuff with the, people were abusing the whole raid system a year or two ago, and raid trains were a thing and pushing people to partner and all that. Which is another thing too, like the whole partner push thing. I always try to avoid that like logic because
if you're out there, follow Andy because he's almost a partner.
Imagine. Well, no, the thing is like, you see so many people go through their like partner push, like everybody get in, we're doing it this month. And then, you have all your friends go in there for a month straight and then they burn out. And the next couple of months you just absolutely tank. So you either do it or like, you have burnt everybody out. Or if you don't do it, like, mentally, I heard a lot of people that like, they were so focused on partner versus just having a good time in their games that they work all these hours and then they stream all these hours and they do all this stuff and they get all these people in there. And then if they don't hit it or they happen to just miss it or something, they just absolutely crash and burn. It's like well, maybe I can't do this. I'll have to take a break. And, all these people are disappearing now because they're tired of supporting me, or, we didn't do it. It's just like,
well, and
that's
Twitch is outright said, even if you hit our stats, like our requirements, we're not going to necessarily partner you. They want you to also be entertaining and hit some of the things that they personally want. So when you start getting close, they send people to your chat to watch, and they watch your VODs, and they inspect a lot more. So yeah, that can be disheartening, certainly.
Yeah. And I think, just that, like, that's why I say it all the time too. Like for myself, it's always going to be like, friends and fun first, because once you start thinking about it in any other term, it's just like it becomes a completely different like entity, completely different content, and completely different. Like I get up every day to hit these numbers versus I get up every day to have fun with some friends. I mean, I can always go get another job. Like I don't mind that at all. I mean, I've worked forever. This is literally just a vacation if it doesn't work, and if it does, that's great. But
that's a conversation I have with myself in a mirror every morning. Like, if this doesn't work out or whatever, like, fuck it, I'll get another job. It's not like I ain't been doing this shit before.
It's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's fine.
I don't know.
No, I mean, in all honesty, the partner push thing, I mean, just to touch on it a little bit more, like, it doesn't offer you a whole lot more as a streamer. A little more visibility. But if you're not getting to the height of, like, Tim the Tatman and Ninja and, I can't name other, XQC, if you're not hitting those numbers to where they're actually sending out a handler and like you're negotiating contracts on percentages, like then you're still getting the same shit. You're getting a little bit more viewership. You get a couple more tools here and there, but like in the end, if you're paying, because I've seen that where people are paying for people to come watch them, or if you're just driving yourself into the ground to try to get the check mark or the partnership, like that there's so much more to it after that. So I think your pace and the way you're looking at it is significantly better, because if you keep doing it your way, you're going to want to do it. If you do it the way you think it's going to be done, then you're not going to want to do it. Like you're going to get burnt out, like you said.
Expectations always set people up. I'm telling you, like, if I expected every night to come in and just have the best stream ever, and then, if I expected to be partner whenever, it would just be like, you're just setting yourself up to be disappointed. Whereas like all I expect is to just have a damn good time. I say that all the time, and I know it's like people hear that constantly from me, but like, really, I mean, I don't know what else I could possibly want, because I cannot replicate these years. I can't replicate like this time that I'm spending on this in the future. Like this is just kind of one of those fun things that you have to appreciate every single day. Otherwise it's like, what's the point,
Yeah. No, I think that actually kind of goes into my next question pretty well. We've talked about it before, whether it's now or previously, your channel has taken a lot of work. You put a lot into it. There's times where you had 370 days of, I don't remember the exact number, but straight of streaming every single day in a row. You stream obnoxious amounts of hours. You put a lot of work into your content. Is there a pressure? And if so, how are you dealing with it? How did you deal with it? And like, what kind of advice do you have for people that may feel that pressure to constantly provide and to constantly put on a show? I know, you and I have talked about it before. Cleve and I have talked about it before. I think all three of us have the same opinion that like, we're going to be us. There's two different kinds of content creators. There's people that are just going to be them, and you can fucking like us or you can not. I don't care. Your choice. Come in and hang out or don't. And then there's people that are putting on a show, and I respect both. So, what do you have to say to the people that are having to put on a show? Because I think even us, there are times where we're having shitty moods or we're in a bad place or whatever, and, we still have to smile and be nice, but not necessarily fake or creating personas. But, what's the key to handling that pressure or dealing with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most pressure I've had is from myself. I mean, we've talked a couple of times where it's like, the only and you've even said like the only person creating this expectation is yourself on you. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm the kind of person who's always all or nothing. Like it's so hard to find any kind of balance with anything I've ever done. When I worked, I never called out a day in my life, literally. If I was like working out, I have literally worked out every day, even when I'm sick, like eating right. It's always like I'm either eating perfectly or terribly. There's no in between ever. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's crazy how that is with me. So streaming was very much the same way. It was like, I'm doing this every day. I want to do this every day. If I can't get everybody involved, I'm making another channel where I can stream still. If I can't stream on Twitch, I'm streaming on YouTube. Like it's like an addiction almost, you know. It's like I have to do this. I want to do this. And so I've had to like tell myself, no, this needs to be a day off. This needs to stop. Like I have to end stream here. I mean, God, the other day when I did the 26-hour stream out of nowhere, like for no reason at all, I did 26 hours. The next day I was like, kind of want to do another one. And I'm like, no, I don't do that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's just one of those things. And then about the, like, you know, when you're having a bad day, if you're being authentically you every day, I've said this on stream a couple times too, where it's just like, if I come out here and I'm just being myself, you'll either get a high energy version of myself or a low energy version of myself. But either way, you're getting me. People that are putting on a show, you know, like you say, more power to them. I think that's awesome if they can do it and pull it off and, you know, have it go smooth and create that environment. But if they're not feeling up for it, then, you know, that's it. Like, it's not, oh, it's just a different version of myself. It's going to be, no, that character that I was playing is just, it's not there anymore, you know? Like, I mean, that's what I like about what we do, because I think there's less pressure in that. Is like, you can just come out and be like, hey, I'm having a pretty tough day, but, you know, we're here now hanging out, and it's, you know, it's still just us, you know?
Yeah.
I think the people who make the personas, to me, is just like children performers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to put on this costume and I'm going to be this person today. And I think that, you know, we're talking about if they have a bad day, but also a lot of people are just like a switch, right?
Yeah.
It's not me anymore. I follow a guy, I think it was, I think he was like Professor Underpants, and he put on a wig and glasses and a lab coat and just zoned out as Professor Underpants. So that was,
yeah. I mean, maybe it works on like YouTube where you can kind of like map out your time and everything a lot better than it does on Twitch. But I think on Twitch, like, I can't imagine being somebody else and thinking, okay, I'm doing 4 hours of this stream and I'm going to do 4 hours of this character, because that's a lot of time dealing with like whatever's happening in chat too. And then let's say I get to that 4 hours and I'm exhausted and I'm just like, boy, that was a great show. Time to, you know, wrap it up. And then I get like a massive raid or something.
mm-hmm.
I mean, what do I do then? Like, oh, right, here's 2 more hours of playing this character, you know? And
I think that the people know, you know, within yourself, is that a kind of person I could be? Because if I could put on a persona, I would put on a persona, and I would have a different name, a different person. I would dress different. I'd fun glasses or whatever the fuck.
Friendships of Ring 2.0.
Yeah. But I know that we'll just switch the names. I just know that when I have my day, that I wouldn't be able to hit that switch like other people might, you know?
Yeah.
Just
I agree.
A random question. What is the etiquette on that? What do you think is the etiquette on raids, by the way? If you get raided, what is the, like, let's say you're 5 minutes past, you're in your head, this is when I'm ending. What are you doing when you get raided? Is it dependent on the number?
Yeah, I mean, it's just easy for me. I think, you know, I'll just play a couple more games or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I have to do anything special or different. Just make sure everybody feels good about it. I think, yeah, like, you know, that's my whole thing with a raid video too. I mean, that's why I haven't done that, because I think everybody would have to get that same treatment. So if you're coming in with, like, you know, 1 viewer versus 100, like, they're getting that raid video. And I've seen people who have not gotten raid videos from people and they get really upset. Like, do I actually matter if I come in here showing this love, you know? So I've been like very cautious and careful about, like, yeah, I'll do a few more games if somebody else comes in. If I get like some crazy massive raid or something, like, I'm definitely going, especially, you know, thinking about, like, I don't know, if partner is out there at some point, like, getting that amount of people to just hang out for a bit and seeing like what the interest level is. or like if I could make a couple new friends. I think with raids from new people, especially if you're making one friend, like you kind of won right there.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't know what raids really actually do for anybody other than that temporary boost that's going to maybe bring in other people. But
it definitely
I don't
heightens
know.
that visibility. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just simply on the aspect of like, hey, I'm looking at this category of Apex or whatever. If it bumps you from 2 viewers to 12 viewers, that's huge as far as scrolling down. Like that can be the fucking big difference of someone actually being, you know, willing to look at you.
Yeah. I just get excited for, I mean, like, it's just thinking about the idea of a raid. Like, this is somebody who has thought about my channel and me and wanted to bring their people over and know that that's like a good place to go. It just makes me so freaking happy. You know, and just to treat everybody like that same excitement every time. I'm just like, damn, you know, that's incredible. It's just, you know, I mean, you guys know too, like going through life, it's like there's not a whole lot of people that are going to be like happy to see you, really. I mean, you know, I mean, how many people in my everyday life am I going to walk down the street and, you know, there's going to be a bunch of people that are like, oh my God, yo, it's Andy. What's up? How you doing? You know, good to see you or whatever. But like, man, on Twitch, it's different. I can go to a lot of places and have that, you know,
it creates a weird high and a weird addiction that you have to kind of watch and be careful of. But yeah, you can lose yourself in it.
Totally, but you know, it's definitely one of those things where that excitement just is like so different than your everyday life, and you know, that's why raids are so important to me.
I used to joke and say my dog is the only person that's excited to see me when I come home. Nobody else fucking cares. Nobody else cares.
Yeah, it's wild.
Eddie, you created the safe space for the people, and then people raid into you, but where's that safe space going to be if you're not taking care of yourself?
That's a good point. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like a lot of times, you know, especially on the longer streams, it becomes more of instead of, oh God, I'm so glad to be here, to like, yo, when did you eat last?
Yeah.
You know, you sleeping? Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, and then the fallout after that too. Like, I don't usually go to sleep right after a long stream. I usually like go hang out in other people's streams and stuff. And people go, well, what do you know, like, thank you for being here, but like, can you rest or something? Yeah, exactly.
I've definitely witnessed Andy's chat bully him. I'm like, go fucking eat, you asshole. I've sent a message like, hey, what's your actual address? I'm sending you food right now. Like, stop being stupid. He's like, I'm not going to eat on stream. I was like, I'll fucking pay to watch you eat on stream right now.
Yeah, I don't mind like fasting though either. So that's another thing that a lot of people don't get is like, I have always been into like fasting. I love just going, you know, I used to go a couple days without eating and then just eat like a big disgusting meal, and everything was great, you know. So it doesn't bother me too much.
We're not medical professionals, and we don't suggest you do that out there. Anybody listening to this right now, don't fast for 2 days.
Or fast.
It's not for everyone.
Or fast. Do your thing, whatever. Who cares? Who am I to fucking judge what you do as far as eating? Looking like goddamn Jabba the Hutt.
Is there anything that you wanted to do with your stream that like you had an idea you were excited for that just didn't work?
Yeah, music, man. God, at some point I want to be able to play music on the stream. And
because you play like a couple instruments, right?
Yeah, and I got all this stuff that like I could plug in and I could play and I could do stuff and I could, you know, sing and play along to songs or whatever. And like, you know, it's just one thing after another just holding me back from it. It's like, okay, well, the new software, I have to learn it because the old software is not compatible anymore. The PC I use to record music is just completely dead. It's useless. You know, I'm just like one thing after another to plug in and figure it out. So I was like, well, at the end of the day, maybe I'll just use this PC to stream music through and do it all here. And then it started having problems. So I'm like, maybe music just can't happen yet. You know, maybe I got to get a buffer before I can do it.
Not to plug other streamers, but do you know Wizzy the Kid or Son of Tice? I think Son of Tice, you know.
Oh yeah, Son of Tice. Definitely.
Son of Tice does a ton of music on his channel, and then Wizzy the Kid's a friend of ours that he does both plays instruments and then just raps as well. But like both of them might have at least some kind of tips and tricks on you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask Killian too because he does music on his stream, and I'm just like, you know, that's exactly Like what he does is exactly what I want to do. But
I just started following some kid on TikTok that just sits there in front of his fucking phone and plays the ukulele. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you, Andy. Just get the instrument out.
That guy showed up on my.
I think it's because he followed us on Friendship Supreme's TikTok, and then I think so that because we were friends as well, and then blah blah blah.
That's a good move. Follow Friendship Supreme.
Yeah,
always. Always on everything.
If you haven't already, yes, we're everywhere.
We've made it really easy to. We've created an account for just about everything.
Yeah, not like me, where every name on every account is completely different.
That brings up a great question. So we've had, I don't think it's Salt in the Wound, but we've had the Doofers, we've had Havokast, we've had Andy Havoc, we've had Havokast or Andy Havok, and we've had so many names. Where did the names come from? Where at least if I could, the Doofers and probably Andy Havoc, since Havokast obviously then comes from Andy Havoc.
Yeah, well, Andy Havoc was like the idea. When I first even thought about doing any kind of streaming or creating, I was like, this is perfect. Like that's the name. People are going to call me Andy, so they'll know who I am. Havoc is just whatever, it's just a fun thing to throw around.
Cool thing at the end.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's just
it's an AEW wrestler name is what it always reminds me of, like a wrestler.
It's like the person you want to be, not the person you really like have been. So I was like, dude, I could live like the whole life. It'd be perfect, Mm-hmm. I want to be this guy, especially when I was like hardcore, like working out and stuff at the time too. I was like, dude, like this is the guy right here. And it made me feel very confident and everything, right? So then, like, it was a dual stream, though. So it's like, okay, we have to be respectful of it's both of us. And so the Doofers was kind of like what we had thought about before we even started streaming. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's got to be that. Because, like, my brother, actually, that was his fantasy football name. He said he's called the Doofers because his team is due for a win. And then we thought that was super funny, but also, like, it was so ridiculous the way we spelled it too, because we were so like goofy and stuff and just said whatever. So it just kind of fit really well. And then when that didn't work out, it was like, okay, so my other channel is Andy_Havoc, so that name's locked. Then the Andy without the _Havoc is locked still too, because you have to wait 6 months. I didn't know what to do with it. So I was like, I have to just think of something else. And so the idea at the time was like Havokast. It's a podcast kind of deal, because I have my gaming channel at the time, which was Andy Havoc, when I streamed on both channels. Mm-hmm. And then Havokast has got to be something completely unique and different. So like a cast of people can come and hang out. It's going to be more like a podcast, like talking, hanging out, whatever. And then if you want to just see gameplay, we'll go to the next channel like a few hours later after this and like just chill and play games and stuff. Okay. So there was a purpose behind all of it, but
that's around the time I expected to see Andy on one of those fucking Sarah McLachlan videos where he's in a dog cage, fucking emaciated, hasn't eaten in 6 weeks. As Andy's streaming like fucking 12 hours a day every day.
Yeah, on top of working full time too. God damn, it was a nightmare. It was crazy how it all went.
I get it now, because I'm gonna tell you right now. I was like, what is this guy doing? He's got fucking 16 names. How am I supposed to? The brand ignition, how much does it ever find you if your name is different everywhere? But now I see it was an umbrella just under Andy, and that makes more sense. Like, I have this part of me, and I have this part of me, and I have this part of me. It makes a lot more sense now.
I know, and at the time, I didn't know what. Well, that's the thing. It was like it was such an abrupt end to everything that I was just like panicking. Like, how do I keep this? Because it was, a bigger channel. I mean, at the time, not that much bigger, but I didn't know any better at the time than the other one. And I saw this like weird thing where my solo channel was doing like more, it was trending up, and the Doofers at the time was just like pretty stagnant or not doing much, and I didn't know what the problem was. But then like changing it all over, we both channels started going in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, God, now what do I do? Because, I mean, we had this conversation many times where it was like, just pick one or the other. Like, there's no reason to have both of them anymore. And I wanted so hard because, you got to think like, you got subs on both channels. You got people like rooting for you on both channels. Like, God, I don't want to let anybody down or feel like they wasted their time or money or,
Right.
And it just felt so gross at the time too. But just slowly kind of transitioning out of that. And then I think like September 1st or something was my last stream on the Andy channel, and it all transitioned to the current channel. And so,
and you're going to get rid of that one too, right?
I think I'm going to change the name on the 17th to Andy Havoc again. Yeah. Well, the problem I'm having is like, I'll go into people's channels, and this is people that I've known for a while too. And they'll be like, yo, what's up, Andy? Can I get a shout out for Andy? And the mods are just like, who the fuck is Andy? Like, I do at Andy, and there's nobody in there that's Andy, So
Gotcha.
We've been talking about this for a while. Plus, I mean, there's always been something in the back of my mind that was like, dude, you have to be Andy Havoc on this thing. Like, that's the way to go.
That was the original dream. That was the original dream.
It came to me right away, and it stuck with me forever. And like, that's the one I want to do. So I was going to change it, a few weeks ago, but it's still locked, and it will be unlocked fairly soon. But the 17th of January on the 2-year anniversary, that's when I'm going to try to do it. Try to do a big thing from like the 1st until the 17th. I'm going to just really promote the shit out of that. And, it's going to...
We've been waiting for you to figure shit out before we make another commercial for you. He's over here just itching to make a commercial, and he's like, I don't know, man.
I told my girlfriend, I made him one. Keep putting shit around, so I have to wait.
Dude, that's the shitty thing, too, is like my friend who's like an incredible woodworker made me a sign and everything, like handcrafted the sign for the doofers, and it just,
You know what, though? I think
to hang it up on camera.
I was say, if anything else, though, because for those of you that don't know out there, including Andy probably doesn't know, we had a podcast much before this that was called Blastoise Flinched, and I have Blastoise Flinched stuff all over my house and in my closet and shit. And I think it's just like I enjoy it. Like I look at it, and I think you should look at the doofers the same way, as just a stepping stone in the direction that you were going to go. And I think if anything, you should have it in your background. Hang it somewhere, and just that reminds you of where you came from, what you had, and where you're going. And I think
I agree.
You guys all seem like you're on good terms. I see. He was in your chat the other day, and that's good. And
that was the biggest hang up, was like, man, I mean, I don't want to like slight him, and I kept telling everybody the whole time too, like, this would not be possible without him. Like, I would not have even thought about doing this if he didn't push me to it, And I like I say, it wasn't even a thing that was really between us as much as it was just everything else going on at the time. So it's pretty easy to reconcile, to be honest. Like, we just came together one day. And we're like, what do we? What's the problem? We're like, I don't have a problem. They're like, I don't either. Okay, cool. And we just kind of picked up where we left off. But it was just wild, how we let other factors influence,
Not to tell you what to do with your stuff or what have you, but I think that if I started this journey with you, and then things fell out like they did, and you're Andy Havoc, big name change, and I came in, and it said Doofer right at the back, I think that I would, because like you said, this is for you. This would have never been, not for you, but this would have never been without you. We started it together.
Yeah.
I think that I would enjoy seeing that. Michael's got the fucking Havokast skeleton.
I have that right there. Hold on a second. And I'm gonna rearrange it too. Sorry. Not to tell you how to run your channel, Andy.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, because I didn't know where you guys were, and I don't ever ask because you don't ever want to be like, fucking touch that nerve. But
that's been my policy forever too. Like, I don't care if people are just being the worst to me on, Twitch, Twitter, whatever the case may be. I don't ever address it. I don't go after anybody. I never will. It's so easy to just hit that block and ban button.
Can we start a Twitter beef between our channels?
I mean, we already have. It's the beef that's inside Whataburger's patties.
Oh, the greatest beef in goddamn America is what you're talking about.
I'm gonna find you and hit you with a patty.
Honestly, you should. I would
take
eat
you
that
out with
patty. I want to actually taste it.
I'm gonna take you out with a honey butter biscuit. Just fucking show up and hit you with it.
Yeah, please do.
That sauce is delicious. Anyways.
Yeah.
You got something?
So do you set goals anymore? What is your what is your vision for the Twitch channel now?
Yeah, man, goals are super important, and the steps to getting to goals is the most important part in that. Because like I could set whatever goal I want. I could say I want to do this. I want to have this many subs, followers, whatever. Who cares? If I don't have a plan on getting to that, what does it matter? I mean, I could say whatever I want, So definitely having the interim goals. It's Twitch is so strange in the fact that like, okay, 3 viewers average and 50 followers is affiliate. And then the next goal is like 75 and you're the partner. Like, I mean, where's all the in-between stuff? So you got to kind of just make that stuff up as you go. So yeah, looking to keep, average viewers and viewer retention, which is a metric you can't really like track, but viewer retention is like the big thing for me right now. Like what makes people feel comfortable in coming back and what makes people like want to actually be your friend, So just making sure that I'm constantly asking people like what they're working on and trying to find new ways. So I want to, more than anything, I've been trying to get 3 to 4 posts in the community events section a week, and like I won't share that like on the stream, but I'll share that that's available for people to use. But I want to get like people's big like milestone streams or celebrations or charity events in there so that they feel very, much a part of a community than just a number. So that's been a big thing is like the outside stuff. Twitch itself, like I want to definitely the next goal. I mean,
Andy for partner. He's going to say
fairly close. I'm fairly close to partner. So I don't think I'm going to push it though, even if I hit that number.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm really just going to be comfortably hitting those goals and then just do it one day without telling a single person, That's why I keep saying, like, I think summer 2023 is the time that it's going to happen. There's going to be a bunch of people, not working for the summer teachers and, people out of school, college, all that stuff. Like they're going to be, hanging out, watching Twitch more often. And maybe some people are going to try to stream more and want to network more. And, there was a huge bump in like June, July, completely fell off second half of August because people are going back to school and work and all that stuff. And so like, I think the beginning of next summer, that's when that could happen if everything keeps progressing in the right way. And retention is going to be how it keeps progressing that way. So definitely like the big goal is more people in the community events to get like more community active and, partners the next like big foreseeable goal.
Okay. I have a 2-parter question for you. It's probably going to be one of the last ones. First question. Who are some streamers or content creators that you've recently seen? It doesn't have to be someone in your community. It doesn't whatever. It's just maybe on TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is, Twitch. Who are some content creators that you've seen lately that you feel like are doing the right thing and you're trying to now maybe emulate? Because I think that's a big thing for us is like we oftentimes will see someone do something like, oh, that's a really cool command or that's a really cool concept. Like, let me see how we can work that into something we do. Is there some content creators out there that you're seeing right now that you're like, man, they're doing the right thing? How do I get to that? Or how do I do some of this?
Recent people, it's probably the one that sticks out is Bella. I mean, she's been streaming for like 2 months or something, just hit 1,000 followers. I mean, she just creates a very fun environment no matter what she's doing or going through. And just has a real weird way of like captivating everybody in the channel. I think she is somebody I look up to. Even numbers mean nothing. I don't care if she just started or she's been doing it for 10 years. Like I've recently stumbled upon her channel and I've loved every minute of it. Somebody else, man, I always talk about her, Char Lively. Like she just started streaming, but just seeing how much she enjoys it has been just a beautiful thing to watch, and it always makes me feel better about streaming. I mean, it's tough, and just seeing like, man, I think it's going through those first couple of months of like, this is new, this is incredible. Like these are all these wonderful friends. Nothing bad could ever happen, Just that smile, that laugh, like always having a good time. Those two are people that like, it's just fun to watch. And like, that's the kind of environment I want to, make and people to feel when they come in. It's just weird how much that stuff hit me. But those are definitely the two that come to mind.
The second part of this question, and we will absolutely post a clip of this in your chat all the time. Who's your favorite content creator?
Ooh, man.
You take an easy out and just say like Nick Merckx or something. It's fine.
No, I don't know. But like, it's tough to say because I think it has to do. It's like music, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have to just have different moods and different feels for it. I mean, you know, what are you looking for, really? I think the people that like really like inspired me and like got me into content creation, man, I would have to think, you know, some of those like YouTube channels I would have watched like 10 years ago or something, you know, maybe like an Aaron and Danny from Game Grumps or something like that. Like I loved that stuff, especially the early days of that. You know, just you could those were the kind of shows that you could watch and just watch over and over again and be like, damn, this is just like buddies hanging out, you know. That's always been my thing, and it just feels so relatable, you know.
You could have said us, Cleve.
I could have, but you said, "Hey,
we're buddies that were relatable."
It's true. I know. As far as streaming goes,
I
you know,
get what you're saying because I think I've got a couple of like random YouTube creators that are now on Twitch or whatever that are very much like that. That they give that just a couple of buddies playing vibe, and I enjoy it.
And well, you know the name of our stream?
Yeah, exactly. But like that's the thing. I mean, imagine starting a stream channel with two people, something I didn't know about streaming in general, but then also thinking like I didn't know two people would really successfully do it. And then finding you guys immediately was like, wow.
Successful is a relative term.
Killing it. They're killing it, you know? Like I want to be like that, you know? And I didn't succeed in it. You know, I mean, think about it.
Say Friendship Supreme, so we could just cut out all the other shit.
Magic of editing.
That's something Twitch can't give you. All right, baby.
And then we clip it on our own. We'll just play a video of it on our channel, and that'll be the only clip that we have anymore. So every time he shouts us out, it's that clip that plays. It's just Andy saying, "My favorite channel is Friendship Supreme." Oh man. All right. Did you ever think you were going to be here today? Like where you're at now? Like baby Andy, when baby Andy was the gym bro that he was, and he showed up with his shirt, no sleeves, on his stream with no cam, just dry humping fucking creatine.
Yeah, there was no chance. I didn't even, I mean, 4 digits on your follow number, like to me was just, I mean, there was no way. I mean, I was looking at, you know, especially when you're first starting out and you're thinking like, I know nobody on this platform, you know? So it was just wild to think about that. And, you know, to even like, it's weird because I constantly look at numbers. I love data analytics and things like that. I mean, that was my job for years, was like, you know, sales goals and how it affects business. And like, I had to know business acumen like the back of my hand. And I loved it too. I actually really liked that. I used to really analyze like baseball stats and stuff just for fun, for no reason at all. I would set up spreadsheets just for fun. I don't know why I like that stuff so much, but I love looking at tangible numbers and things and making sense of them. So like the same thing with this, I've always been like, wow, look at the trend lines and look at this month and that month and this day and all that stuff. So, you know, back when, you know, a year ago or whatever, I was thinking like, boy, this is pretty cool. I can't believe it's like this, but like, there's no way I'm, you know, growing any higher than this. Like we've hit the plateau early. That is what it is, you know? And then here I am now, like, well, I could push 6,000 by the end of the year. That's crazy. You know, it's wild.
Okay, so that's going to be it for us. Andy, do you have any words of advice for the person that is stuck in a rut or the person that's just trying to start up a Twitch channel?
Yeah, stuck in a rut is going to happen. So don't feel like it's just you. I mean, it's going to happen no matter what. I would say just try to find any kind of win. There's always going to be something positive if you're consistently doing the thing every single day or whenever you're doing it. I think just starting out, the most important thing for me has always been like a start time. It might not be a consistent schedule of days, but as long as you're on around the same time every day that you go on, like that's the most important thing. Because if I get a notification at my PC that you've gone live, it's up there for like 10 seconds and then it disappears. And if I'm not looking at it or I look away or something, it's just gone forever. No idea. I get Twitter notifications late. I'll see, oh, somebody's going live 6 hours ago. Okay, cool. Yeah. And like that stuff just is kind of meaningless. In people's like Discords, if you're posting, you're going live, I don't know how many people really look at that kind of stuff too. So what has helped me has always been starting around the same time every day, because people just eventually look to see if you're on. Oh yeah, it's 8 p.m. Andy's probably starting soon, or it's like 10 p.m. Andy's probably been on for a little bit. Like I'll jump in there. So for me, that was probably the biggest thing, and I think that was the biggest reason for the growth I had out of literally nowhere, no expertise, no experience, none of that. Was just like, I mean, I've literally started around the same time every single day since I created the channel. So definitely with that, there's been you just got to look at the days, the months too, when it comes to like channel growth. I think it's usually, for me, it's been 3 months of like viewer growth, and then 1 month where it just kind of falls, and then 3 more months of building up, and then it falls again. So, depending on the season, what's going on in the world, I think you got to look at all that stuff and think like, okay, I'm doing relatively well for what's going on around me. If you expect the same kind of success when, COVID's going on versus now when everything's like, kind of back to normal, it's like, it's not going to be the same thing. So just got to understand that times are going to be different, whatever you're doing.
It's awkward because he says consistent time, and like we have 2 different times that we start each week. So it's
but I mean,
but speaking of,
you do have the schedule,
guys,
right?
Speaking of consistency, guys, we have episodes posting every week on YouTube on Wednesdays.
There you go. Hell yeah.
But
Cleve works really hard on Saturdays too.
Cleve works really hard on Saturdays too. You guys, we have two videos a week basically. I know I don't like to commit you to that in case you don't want to keep up with it, but Cleve posts videos almost every Saturday, if not every Saturday. I
posted every Saturday except for one, and that's because I put the wrong fucking date on it.
You did put the wrong date on it, but
I was so sad. From January 1st, every Saturday I posted a video of us doing something, and one Saturday just fucking, I didn't calculate for it. They got away from me in like July, and it still haunts me.
That's honestly so awesome though. Like just the fact that you guys can pump out all that stuff. I mean, like I can't even imagine making anything outside of just streaming. Like I'm trying to get into the mindset of like do YouTube, make a TikTok, post clips, whatever. And I just cannot, like, I can't manufacture the time to do it. So the fact that you guys can do all that stuff is just actually freaking awesome.
I will tell you, if you want to get in the window of doing this, do it not live. We do them live now. It's a little more difficult.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants attention, and you have a lot more people asking for attention. So,
yeah, I know it's a whole new world of that stuff. I want to do it. That's the thing. I want to bad, but man, just figuring out when and how is just like, man, daunting.
Let me know, man. I'll pump you out a contract. We'll put you under
let's go.
The Friendship Stream umbrella. And
you see that person right above me? We can erase her and just put you on the poster if you'd like.
Let's go.
She's not fucking around anymore.
We can record it. I'll edit it and put it out under our channel. It's just.
I'm down.
It could just be a draft every Monday of stupid shit like fruit. Because apparently people enjoyed that one a little bit.
People do enjoy stupid shit.
Definitely stuff you can just relax and hang out with. I like it.
People love stupid shit.
Yeah, they do. But
that's good because that's all I got.
That's all we do every day. Like Michael talking about taking a mouth load. It's been one of the most popular TikToks I've posted so far. Anyways, thanks to Andy for hanging out with us. You guys know where to find us. It's everywhere with Friendship Supreme, except for Twitter. It's no eyes because all eyes should be here on the YouTube channel or on Twitch, We stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 9 p.m. Central Time, and Wednesdays and Mondays at 10 a.m. Central Time. Make sure you guys check us out. Drop follows, hit comment below. Let us know if you guys want to see more streamers, or if you have any questions for Andy. We will forward them to him.
If you're not following Andy, what are you doing?
Yeah, make sure you guys follow Andy. Andy, where can they find you everywhere?
Well,
plug
I guess
yourself,
as soon as the YouTube gets up and running, it's going to be the Havokast, where we're going to do just podcast experiences, talking about, basically how the channel is going and growing and all that stuff. Because I'm trying to figure it out every day too. So, that's kind of what that's going to be all about. And then, every night except for Tuesday and Saturday on Twitch, 8 p.m. Pacific time. At Havokast until January 17th, but we will do it. Andy Havoc.
Follow now so you don't have to remember later.
Exactly.
Do you have any big projects or anything coming up that you want to talk about real quick?
Well, not really. I think after the birthday stream, it's, just kind of, TwitchCon and
Andy will be at TwitchCon if you guys are out there and you see him. Make sure you throw cheese in him, specifically
throw
Gouda.
All the cheese. Gouda. Ooh, okay. Give me some blue cheese too.
Well, what's your bench at now?
Oof, I don't know. I don't ever really track PRs. I'm always afraid of injuries because I work out at home. So I don't try to push it too much.
Don't do that.
Yeah. I've had even enough injuries at home where I'm like, we're just gonna
take it easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Some days it's just the bar, but you know what? I fucking did it. So have a good day.
Exactly.
Came out alive. Thanks for being with us, Andy. Hopefully you guys had a great time. If you want to see more of this stuff, let us know. I've been Michael.
It's me.
Andy.